Welcome to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist, coming to you live from the Wave Beach Realty Studios in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Call us today at 843-957-3872.
Happy New Year, and as we get the year started, let's get your financial picture in focus by getting a budget and getting those spending habits looked at. Reach out to me at coachwesc@gmail.com and we'll get you off to a good start.
This segment is sponsored by Bobby Clary State Farm. Call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right. All right, guys, welcome back into episode 43 of the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist. I'm Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist. We are back for another great episode.
Podcast. It's actually when we were staying on topic. We kind of teased last week at the beginning of the podcast that we were going to talk about Washington and the appointments and Doge.
And we didn't talk about any of that.
No.
We talked about the economy, the real estate market coming to a complete halt because Wes loves to scare me and make me think my career's ending. And we talked about doctors and the questionable state of the healthcare system.
So, and part of what we got old news in front of us, so this will probably be kind of dated by the time this airs.
Yes.
But it's still relevant. I mean,
Yes.
Doge is going crazy in Washington. We've got the confirmations that have happened, so all that stuff's going on inside of the different departments, which is great. But Doge keeps finding some crazy junk.
Yeah, they just an hour ago. Obviously, we're recording this fairly on the Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, Happy Valentine's for us.
We are recording
but
this
it's
on
not
Valentine's
airing
Day.
till
We got a week from
the 24th, so it's 10 days. This is airing 10 days.
A week from Monday, 10 days later. So sorry for recording so early, but I'm going out of town, so I have to pre-record one
that's why we're not
day.
talking about his great cruise in the Caribbean yet, because he hadn't done it yet.
Maybe the next episode we'll talk about Jonathan's first cruise.
Quick clip. Actually, I hope we had a quick clip. I hope we had a quick clip last week with you on Zoom from the ship itself. So.
Yes, that's what we're shooting for.
That's what we're
I love that
shooting
we have to guess what, it was like premonition of what's going to happen, so we can stay on topic. But it looks like an hour ago, you actually touched on this. $1.9 billion of HUD money was recovered after being misplaced during the Biden administration.
Misplaced? How do
you don't misplace that type of money?
Billions, $2 billion. You misplaced it.
I've misplaced $20 in my pocket. I've never misplaced like 10 grand somewhere, let alone 1.9 billion. 167 cancellations, saving 115 million for HHS. What else we got?
Oh, and I had to apologize because we actually when we started talking about Doge, months ago, I thought, and until recently, that it was a separate entity of the government that was just consulting with the government. I don't know if you've heard about this, but Trump and he does this stuff. He found this department that Obama put in place to actually fix the crap show that was the Obama healthcare website. So he put this task force together, this little department together to fix the problems they had. You probably don't remember that, but when they rolled out
I remember how much of a mess it was. Yes,
so
it's still not great.
And it was not said anything about, and it's been in existence ever since. So Trump just went in and took that same agency and turned it into Doge.
Oh, I love that.
That's why they can't stop it, and that's why
I love that.
That's why this actually has teeth that I didn't know about until a couple of weeks ago.
It
has teeth because it is, and he's appointed Elon. Since this ranks so low, there's no confirmation hearings or anything. He can appoint anybody he wants to. So all this is legal. All of it, and it's all because of Obama. Yeah. It literally is because of what Obama did, which he probably shouldn't have been able to do in the first place. But, it was a Democrat. They can do what they want. Right. Well, now we're using it. Love it.
Look at us now. Look at us now. I love that. I love that. That's good stuff. Yeah, they're, man, it's just the pace at which they are working. Apparently, they just have like a bunch of, they were talking about it today, like just a bunch of geniuses that Elon has put together to just run through all of this and question
and they're
everything.
using AI. AI is putting a lot of this stuff together. If you go to the Doge website, I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I haven't. Well, I'm just on their Twitter page, but I haven't been to the website. When they first opened the website up, I went to it, but there wasn't much on there yet. I haven't been to it lately.
One of the things I like is the workforce section. They literally show the full government workforce.
Oh.
And everything. And it breaks it down into the different departments.
I love that.
And I'm
awesome.
sure all that was done by AI, but there's 2.2 million people working for just the executive branch. That's not all of government. That's just the executive branch.
Wow.
And out of that, 75,000 at least took the buyout. That was so
I saw
funny.
that. Yeah.
They tried to stop it in court. The appellate court came back and said, "Yeah, I can't tell him that he can't offer this to these people. This is they call it a forked decision, and it's up to them. You can't have the union decide it." So I was like, "Yes, finally,
Lovely.
a win." But the way but you think about it, the wages for all those is only $211 billion. So just even getting rid of the employees is not going to save us a lot of money.
No, it's just again though, like we said, it's anywhere you can start pulling some out is a good start.
And all the stuff that is going to free up because these people aren't there messing with the free market,
right,
is going to be a lot more than $200 billion. Well, obviously 75,000 is going to be in the millions,
right?
But that's going to free the market to do a lot more stuff because he is again just taking that regulation out, which to me is huge.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love everything they're doing. I'm so excited. I just never seen anything like this where just so much is getting accomplished, and it just actually feels like a government is actually running and doing something.
Yeah.
We've just been in the dark forever, and that's why all this is coming out because we've just been so blinded to like anything that's going on.
And it's simple. I mean, it's basically a simple audit. I mean, they're not really doing much going in it because again, all this stuff can't. It's just magically save us this money. I mean, going forward it'll save money, but we spent the money already.
Right.
But they're fussing and screaming about this audit, yet they just hired 80,000 IRS agents to audit us.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I mean, that one, I don't know who was it. I don't know if you saw this or not, but one representative or one senator said they need to leave our money alone. Freudian slip.
Yeah, that is a Freudian. I did see the clip.
Not your money.
Yeah. Oh, well, it is. It has been.
Yeah, well, it has been.
So did you see the Doge? They have like a receipt page. Did you see this?
Receipts no later than Valentine's.
So that should come out today. Yeah, it should come out today.
Yep, receipts coming soon.
You promised. I'm going to screenshot and tweet at Elon and said you promised. You promised today.
I'm sure some court somewhere is trying to stop him.
I'm sure.
He's stealing Social Security checks. You see this? He's worth
$400
billion, and he wants some Social Security checks.
It's like people are like, we don't want him to have our Social Security numbers like Elizabeth Warren, and then we're like trying to stop him if you're getting all this information. I'm like, what do you think he's going to do? Open a credit card with your broke account, like with your 680 credit score? Yeah, because he needs your stuff. That's what he needs.
You're the greedy ones. He's just trying to help out.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that much power anyway. He can't. It just drives me crazy. It drives me batty. But people believe him. I mean,
they do believe him.
Yeah,
people believe everything they're fed. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, okay, I see it now. The front page is the latest news, latest work, and it's literally, I think, just their X page showing up on the front page.
I love it.
Good start by U.S. Doge. Verified that these all have been canceled. Department of Education, 4.6 million contracts in coordinating Zoom and in-person meetings. Coordinating.
Wow.
3 million contract to write a report that showed the prior reports were not utilized by schools.
I mean, what in the world?
1.4 contract to physically observe mailing and clerical operations.
It's something,
excuse me?
Isn't it? It's something, isn't it? Oh man! Can you imagine what else they're gonna find?
I mean, these are hundreds percentage of the national budget, but I mean, we shouldn't be spending it at all.
Right. It's. I just can't imagine, like, just the crazy stuff they found so far. I just can't imagine, like, 6 months from now what's going to be found.
Oh yeah.
But again, they're like we were talking in another episode. They got to be careful about the way they expose certain things and at the rate of which they do it, because you start scaring people or people they could get tone deaf to it and be like, whatever, we don't care, or it could just go the other way where people are like, holy crap, look at the amount of corruption, and like just lose complete faith in the U.S. system. But at least they're doing the right things to try to help us. I mean, because I was talking to my sister about this earlier today. She was like, what is going on with Elon, and why are they hating on him, and what is he doing? I was like, he's hurting a lot of rich people's pocketbooks. And she was like, yeah. She was like, you won't believe this, but I was actually listening to Candace Owens, and I was like,
oh, really?
I was like, yeah, how was that? I was like, did you learn something? And then she was going down some rabbit hole, and I know this is going off the Doge topic, about the French guy who's running France with I guess he's transgender wife that's like 70 years old and he's in his 30s. I don't know. I don't know. Some rabbit hole she went down that Candace Owens has been like trying to.
Oh, okay. I hate listening to Candace Owens.
I haven't listened to her podcast. I hear clips from her sometimes, but I don't really listen to her podcast.
I haven't heard much from her or Ben Shapiro. I just hadn't had time.
Yeah, well, I've subscribed to Ben's. He posts a podcast about every day, at least an hour long. I don't listen to every single one of his because I like Ben Shapiro. Yeah. But sometimes he just kind of goes off on tangents too, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, some of his tangents and the way he talks, sometimes I can't take.
He's fast. He talks. I talk fast, but he talks real fast. He's
he's a smart man.
Very smart man.
Very intelligent.
Very intelligent man. But anyway,
I
my
guess
sister.
You don't have
I
listened to Charlie Kirk yet, then.
I don't listen to his podcast, but I follow him on X, and I get a lot of his clips.
I'm talking about your sister. I'm sure she's
not there yet. She's not there yet. Listen, we got her on Candace Owens. That's a
good
start.
Let's keep her there,
That's
right?
a good start. Let's keep her there first and see where we wind up. When life gets unpredictable, turn to a partner you can trust. At Bobby Clary State Farm, we've got you covered. Whether it's home, auto, or life insurance, we're dedicated to providing personalized coverage that fits your needs. With our friendly and knowledgeable team, navigating your insurance options have never been easier. Visit BobbyClary.com or call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right.
Mortgage payment, insurance payments, credit card payments, they can be very overwhelming. Are you ready to take the time to get things under control? Then reach out to me at Clark Financial Coaching to see if we can get you started with a budget and then a vision for the future. Write me at coachwesc@gmail.com. That's coachwesc@gmail.com. Eisenhower Dental, located at 107 Waccamaw Medical Park Drive in Conway, a place where you can find all your dental services, including general dentistry, cosmetic, restorative, and pediatric dentistry. Reach out to them today at their website, eisenhowerdental.com, or call them at 843-234-3110, 843-234-3110, and tell them Wes the Economist sent you.
Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and X at DollarsCentsGS and on Facebook at Dollars and Cents. This segment is sponsored by Wave Beach Realty, 843-957-3872. Give us a call today. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? They're talking about Doge this whole time.
Okay. So. Those commercial breaks always sneak up on me, and then I'm like, wait a minute, where was my head at? Yes, we have been talking about Doge. Sorry, guys. I kind of went off into space there for a second.
You're right. These Democrats and some Republicans, I'm sure, are not being as vocal, but they're petrified. They're going to lose the gravy train.
Right.
All this money. I mean, Zelensky, and I don't trust Zelensky or however you say his name.
Yeah.
But he is he's saying that only 40% of the money and stuff made it over there.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff's sitting in like the account they found with $20 billion just sitting somewhere.
Yeah, and you would think, well, I guess now that he doesn't have Democrats giving him the money, it would be on us to give him the money, or us, the Republicans to give him the money. I guess he can be honest about what was going on now, because if he hurts the Democrats' feelings, it's not like they can cut him off. He's already. Exactly. Are they still giving any money at all to Ukraine right now?
I don't think so. Not right now. I mean, they're still getting stuff left over from what Biden authorized.
Right,
so we're still got stuff going over there. But, I mean, I'm not sure when Trump paused all foreign aid if that actually happened. Speaking of foreign aid, I know we talked about USAID, but man, that's just gotten even worse.
Oh.
But again, all these Democrats are sitting outside these agencies trying to. You saw what's her name Maxine Waters trying to get into the Department of Education. Yeah. That one guard just standing there. No.
Yeah, I would be totally fine with speaking of that, them getting rid of the department. I would be so fine with that, just going back to the states and having the states compete for better education.
I think so,
instead of the government stepping in and saying, this is what we need every state to teach their kids this exact way. It's like, why?
And I've seen people, I mean, the propaganda's out there. They're saying that the government doesn't control that anyway. Well, they don't. It's one of those things. It's kind of like the DOT stuff.
Yeah.
Government does not control our roads here. We do. The only thing they have is interstate. But we get a lot of funding from the government. So they basically say, well, back in the 70s when they said the speed limit had to be 55. because one time it was 55 everywhere. You couldn't go faster than 55. Even on the interstate, you couldn't go faster than 55. And they said your state's going to adopt it, or they're going to lose all the money.
Yeah.
Same thing with Department of Education. They're like, you either adopt this or you lose all this funding.
Right.
So they technically, quote unquote, do not tell the states what they can and can't do, and that's what people are holding on to. They don't even tell us.
Yeah.
But the biggest statistic to me is they were made, and they have been around a long time. It wasn't just in the 70s; they were here long before that. But they were not made a cabinet level position until Carter, and given this much power until Carter, and our overall grades on test scores have dropped ever since then.
Yeah, it's been bad. Yeah, I mean,
we spend more per capita per student than any other country.
Yeah, and we have some of the dumbest people in the world.
Yeah, I mean,
it's scary.
To me, I hate to be you're the conspiracy theorist, but it all kind of goes into a dumbed down populace, makes it a lot easier to control.
Yeah, become more docile. That's why they're pumping fluoride in our water too. I won't get into that conspiracy right now. But RFK is going to take that fluoride out of our water. It's good for your teeth, but it's not good if you keep ingesting it.
There you go.
It makes you more docile, easier to control. You're not going to get me. Tell them, RFK. Let them know. Let them know. Let them know. No more fluoride in my water. I don't want it.
Well, fluoride has been taken out because I've seen a lot of, quote, what do they call it, toxic masculinity popping back up again. Ever since Trump got in office, it's kind of gotten back into the alpha male has come back with a vengeance.
I mean, I feel like as long as you're not like, I don't know, do you consider the alpha male thing a bad thing?
No, I don't.
I feel like you kind of want to be like not everybody needs to be like a douchey
I'm not talking about some jerk that walks around doing it. But I mean being a man, like being manly,
like just using like being like a testosterone driven man.
That's how we're made. I mean, that's how God made us. God made us as protectors. He made. I love what Charlie Kirk. He gets these people all the time. She's like, so you think there's a difference between man and woman because they're trying to get equality?
Difference.
He goes, yeah, and you just see their face like. These college students are like, what do you mean? You can't say that. And it's like, yeah, of course. And he says,
huge differences.
I mean, one time he says, there's some things men do better than women, some things women do better than men. Yeah. And the girl was going to attack him on it. She was going to attack him when he said men can do things better than women.
Yeah.
And she started to mouth off, and he's like, and some things women can do better than men. And she's like, oh, what?
Yeah.
it's like common
it's like
sense.
Everybody has their pros and cons. We're designed completely different for that reason. It's We're supposed to balance out each other, I think, is the whole concept. But
we like to focus on the minority of certain things. Are there some men who are very feminine? Yeah. I mean, it's always been that way.
Right.
And there's also some women who are very manly. Yes. But you can't take a small percentage of the population and base policy on it.
Yeah.
But that's what we've been doing for so long.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like the big thing about women in sports, men and women's sports. And somebody was arguing the other day online or some video I saw, and they go, "It's only 1% of the people. Why do you want to affect these?"
That argument.
And the person was like, "What exactly? It's only 1% less than 1% of the people. So why are we spending so much time on it?"
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it was a ridiculous concept. That's why it needed to be reversed. You're right. It doesn't affect a lot of people, but it's a detriment to women when you put men in their sports. The more it happens, it's like you're going to get women to a point where they don't feel like they even need to compete because it's like, well, if this guy can just be the 5,000th best swimmer in the world, and then he comes over here and all of a sudden he's the best woman swimmer in the world, it's like, well, he's really just cheating. And now, like, it's literally it's the most, like, for people that are feminists, it's the most unfeminist thing.
Yeah.
To take biological men, say that they're women, put them in women's sports, and then cheer it on. It's like the irony is so wild that I can't even wrap my head around the logic behind it. It blows my mind that there's even.
I really can't.
Now, I will say CNN even ran. I think it was CNN. They were doing. I saw like a clip where they like took a poll and like 77 or 78% of the U.S. population, regardless of being Republican or Democrat, were against women, and so it was like one of the highest.
It had been growing for so long.
Yeah,
and it upset them.
Yeah, it is, and I'm surprised it's not higher. I'm surprised there's even 23% of people out there that think it's. Yeah. Okay. That blows my mind itself. I'm surprised it's not like 95%.
Yeah.
Like what?
I mean, everything that women have fought for to get to a point.
Yeah, and just like
wipe it out.
Just like slap it. It's like a big slap in the face, and then you call it equality.
Which, at the same time, if some guy, some 20-some-year-old, 34 was to dress as a woman and act like a woman, I could care less.
Yeah, it doesn't affect my life whatsoever.
Just don't make me be part of it.
Yeah, don't force me to be part of me. Yeah, don't force me to watch him beat my daughter at the swim meet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just like It's just I just don't even know what to say about it because it's so crazy that we even have to talk about it.
We've been dealing with this in government for the last, I mean, you think about it, for the last 12 years, really. Yeah. No, it's longer than that now. Was it 16 years?
Yeah.
We've been dealing with this kind of stuff, and it's just become mainstream.
Yep.
And I think some of it comes back to what we were talking about earlier is we've got politicians in Washington that have been there too long.
Yeah.
And lost sight of reality.
Yep.
I'll never forget when Bush was running, the first Bush was running for president, and he'd been behind the wall for so long, driven everywhere, never did anything. He went to this grocery store when he was campaigning, I think it was, or sometime during that time, and we'd just come in with scanners in the grocery store, and it just blew him away. He'd never seen any technology like that. And so, of course, even back then, the media made it seem like he was out of touch and, dumb, basically.
Right.
But the ones in Washington now is across the board.
Oh, yeah.
They really don't understand what real life is about. It's like with Elon Musk coming in, and he's been in the business world the last 20 years.
Yeah.
He knows what's out there, what's been done.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this AI and his group of guys coming in and going through all this stuff is blowing these bureaucrats away because they could not do this.
Right.
They couldn't audit like this.
Oh, no.
And things they thought were covered really well are now coming to light really quickly.
Yeah, it's crazy how that happens. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I can't say enough good things about Elon. I know people are scared. What's weird to me is like the taxpayers that are against him. It's like, and I guess it's just because he works for Trump that they just hate him now. It's like, oh, he supports Trump, so we just hate him. But it's like, what about what he's doing is actually really that upsetting? Like, what you're mad that he's seeing where the money that you pay in, that your hard-earned money goes, and what the stupid stuff that's being spent on, and trying to get rid of that spending, and that's the problem.
Yeah, it is.
And not. But the question is like, why is he doing this? It's never, and they just ignore what he's found. It's like ignoring the findings,
or it's affecting one of the things that affects them.
Yeah,
yeah. I sent you that thing about the guy who lost his job from leading a shift that was researching the bus project.
Yeah.
Remember,
I
sent you that day after the Super Bowl. I think you saw it.
Yeah.
We'll never know if the bus wheels go round and round.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
That lasted a whole long time.
That was a good one. When I opened that, I was cracking up.
Well, he had me till he got the bus. I wasn't watching his daughter. When I went back and watched it again, his daughter couldn't hold it together.
I know. She was just sitting there trying not to.
Dr. Eisenhower, one of our sponsors, I'd sent it to her, and she caught on right away because she was looking at the daughter, cracking up. So she did a joke the whole time. And I thought, I was listening to this guy thinking, you really think you threw your vote away? And then they got to the bus, and I was like, okay.
Once you sent it to me, I knew it had to be something funny, so I went in knowing it was going to be something like not serious. But
they're getting upset about
like the wrong
something's
thing.
Lost.
Yeah.
And and I know a lot of people on my feed that are on the liberal side. They literally don't understand how to live without government.
Yeah,
it's like
scary.
You're taking the government, especially the Department of Education. I have one friend. I hadn't talked to him in years. I didn't realize they'd gotten this far to the left. But they're really upset because the Department of Education will go in and they think it's going to collapse our education system. I just don't understand that at all.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know where we get from here.
Yeah. Are you looking to buy a home in North or South Carolina? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. We are a family-owned company with over 10 years of experience in North and South Carolina and operate along the Grand Strand. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872.
Want to know more about economics? Then look for my podcast, Econ Sense, in Apple and Spotify, or reach out to me at wes.the.economist@gmail.com. It's wes.the.economist@gmail.com.
You looking to buy a property in North or South Carolina and need financing assistance? Give Motto Mortgage Coastal Pros a call today. We specialize in residential loans in both North and South Carolina and can meet all your residential home loan needs. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872. Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to send us your topics and give us feedback at dollarscentsgs@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and X at dollarscentsgs. You can follow us on Facebook at Dollars and Cents. Listen to us on the podcast format at Dollars and Cents Podcast. And you can also find us on YouTube at the Dollars and Cents Podcast.
So, talking about term limits, what do you think term limits should be? What do you think it should be on the Senate and the House? And do we need term limits on bureaucrats?
I think term limits, across the board probably are a good thing. I don't know what the actual limits should be. I mean, I guess there's an argument that if you keep getting voted in, and if people are happy with what you're doing, but I feel like everybody has. I think it may be not even much of a term limit as much as an age limit. Like if let's say been doing a great job and you've spent 20 years in Congress, okay, but like once you're like 80 and you're like standing at the podium freezing up, forgetting where you're. It's like, dude, you got to force them out at that point. Like they don't even. I mean,
but you can't put an age limit on it because then Trump wouldn't have been in run. You see what I mean?
Yeah, well, there should be.
It's all about cognitive.
There should be a cognitive test, I guess. Okay. That like a legit one though that they have to take like in public.
Yeah.
And like walking up a set of stairs should probably be the first one.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know if you remember the campaign. Trump walked into this venue and they had these chairs up. He said, "Oh no, you're not getting me that chair. All I need is to misstep and fall, and I'll be all over the news. Now we'll stand and talk."
yeah, that's the last thing he needs.
He's straight up. I mean, he's just straight up about everything.
Yeah. It's so yeah. I don't know what I think that the limit should be. I think there definitely should be some type of limit or some type of cognitive test that if they're showing any type of decline, it's time for you to take your retirement and head out. And there should be an annual audit, because if you're making $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year, and all of a sudden your net worth goes from $800,000 to $62 million, it's like, all right, something's going wrong. It's I think any red flag,
which Elon
like
has called out too.
Yeah, he has.
Even not only at politicians, he said, some of these bureaucrats.
Any of them.
Their net worth is a lot higher than it should be.
It doesn't make sense. I'm all fine with people making money, but if you're doing it by stealing my tax-paying dollars and running it through like DEI programs in Iran or whatever you're doing, and then you're funneling that in your own pocket through those programs, and you're literally committing fraud and making I'm not okay with that. If you want to invest your money and you do things on the side and you turn 100,000 into $1 million, $1 million into $2 million, and you're good investing, fine. But you're not going to convince me that Elizabeth Warren is some seasoned investor who's making billions or millions in the stock market because of how smart she is. Like, you're not going to convince me of that. You're not going to convince me Bernie Sanders is doing that. Like, no. They're literally part of the problem. They're committing fraud. You can I don't know. You can pitch it however you want and say, they're just doing programs where they're it's fraud. Yeah. It's fraud. It's
even when they trade on stocks that they know something's getting ready to happen on. That's fraud.
That's fraud. It's insider trading. What? Who went to Martha Stewart?
Yeah,
Isn't that what she went to prison for?
Oh yeah, and she did nothing. She did was near as bad as what these people in Congress do.
No. Like, at least she can make some good scones. Yeah. Bernie Sanders, don't get me.
He might be the scones.
Yeah. He's still worried about them onesies.
Schumer makes very good vegetable burgers. You see that from last.
Don't get me started on Chuck Schumer. How much time do we have?
I really do think we need to have. I think we need to have term limits altogether. But I think they need to be long enough to give somebody a chance to get something done.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know what the exact times are, but I think 10 to 16 years for House Representatives. That is 5 to 8 terms. I think that's more than enough. Yep. I would hope that that would then take away the incumbency rule that you just always get reelected.
Right.
And people would actually look at candidates. Maybe they don't deserve to be up there for 5 terms. They'd get voted out somewhere.
Right, exactly.
And for the Senate, I think 3 terms, 18 years at the most.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I definitely think there should be an annual audit of everybody in the Senate and the House, just to be like, okay, let's make sure you're not money laundering or doing. It's like, I mean, that's important. Like, I want to make sure my tax dollars aren't going in your pocket because you funneled them through.
But they've gotten so good at doing it.
They're very good.
They don't do a program that goes back to them exactly. I mean, it goes through 5 or 6 entities before it gets back to them.
I know, but if you're able to figure out their net worth, there's a paper trail. So there's always a paper trail somewhere. Yeah, and that's what AI.
Well, lobbyists throw money at them all the time.
Right.
But the lobbyists get it because of decisions they're making. That's corruption in definition.
Right. It's like, hey, I'll pass this law. I need you to vote this way. I need you to persuade people to do this because it's going to make me more money, and I'll throw it to you. That's fraud in itself. That should not be. That's like doctors getting paid directly. Like, hey, this pill isn't good for the American people, but if you give it to them, we'll throw you $20 million a year. Just shut up and pitch it and say it's the best pill. Don't worry about giving them this pill
if you get
that also treats it.
All your patients are 100% vaccinated by COVID. We'll give you this money. I mean,
right. That wouldn't happen. Yeah, right. Pfizer wouldn't do that. Moderna wouldn't do that. Johnson & Johnson wouldn't do that.
We got receipts somewhere, don't we?
I think we do have the receipts. I think we do have the receipts.
Oh, man.
Good times. Good times we're in.
But I do think, I think there should be some kind of limit on bureaucracy.
Yeah.
If it's 20 years, that's kind of high to me to keep somebody in a bureaucracy spot.
Yeah.
But, okay, 20 years. But at the end of 20 years you retire. Period.
Yeah. Yep.
You can't stay.
Yep.
I mean, one of the statistics he's got on here on Doge is actually longevity, and most of the people are in. I think it was 5 to 9 years they've been with the government.
Yeah.
Which is probably long enough. I mean, move on to something else.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm totally for term limits. I haven't thought about it enough to know exactly what I think they should be, but it should definitely. I mean, you can see that it's a problem. The longer you're in there, I think the higher your chance of corruption is and cognitive decline over time. It's so those two combined are good enough reasons for.
And the third one I would throw in there is losing touch with reality.
Right.
And I don't mean that by going not with the decline, but just not knowing the world anymore when you're in that bubble for so long.
Yeah, because that world of Washington D.C. is its own.
It is.
There's nothing else like that.
I remember Cash Patel saying one time he's going to close down the Hoover Building and move the FBI out of Washington.
It's probably healthy.
I don't think it'll happen, but I wished he would.
Yeah, it probably won't happen, but it would be healthy. Put him in Florida or Texas or somewhere, or middle of the country.
Yeah, Missouri somewhere.
Yeah, Missouri.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the middle of the country with.
Yeah, somewhere cold where they have to really wake up and get through some snow to get to the office every morning. Really work for that job. Put them in Iowa and knock out a cornfield since you guys are getting rid of farmers anyway.
There's a whole other story there.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that today. We'll go into the farming conspiracy theory and Bill Gates buying farmland on another day.
And his mosquitoes.
Oh boy,
didn't he watch any of the Jurassic Park stuff? I mean.
Yeah, it's when you play God, it never works out very well.
No, ask Fauci. Oh, sorry. Did I say that?
Uh-oh. Well, he's pardoned. You don't have to.
Yeah, but the states are kind of going at it. My brother told me that, I thought it was a joke, but he said it was serious, that Russia has put out a warrant on Fauci.
I hope they have.
I mean, they literally.
I don't know how they're going to get him.
He's never going
to go to Russia.
It's kind of like they put a warrant out on Putin.
Yeah, right, as like a war
criminal,
it's not gonna,
right? Yeah, it's not going to happen, but I was kind of surprised that they actually put one out.
Yeah. Yeah, I still have to read RFK's book about him, The Real Anthony Fauci.
Yeah.
Apparently it's great. And he talks a lot of bad things about him. He never got sued over it, so it all has to be true. Or
exactly.
Lawsuits
and
out the end.
Rand Paul is still going to call him to testify.
Yeah, as he should.
And the thing is, if he comes in and lies about something,
he can't do that.
Pardon doesn't count.
Yep.
So he can't plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Because talking about the past doesn't incriminate him.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's going to be interesting this year.
Strap in, boys and girls.
It's only been 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's like you know, like when you're on a roller coaster and you're going up, and it's just like.
Yeah.
It's like we're almost there. We're we're just waiting for the suspense to drop, and we're getting to the top of the.
How far is it going to plunge?
Yeah, that's
like
the
we
worry.
talked about earlier in some of our quick clips and all. You know, as you said, it's got to be done right.
Yeah, if you're going to operate on the country, you got to make sure you know what organ where you're hitting.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
So, remains to be seen. Everybody have a good week. Maybe we'll talk about something positive the next time you see us or hear us.
Next week on the podcast, we don't know what we're going to talk about yet, because sometimes when we know what we're going to talk about, we don't talk about it.
Right.
But a couple of quick clips coming your way this week.
Yep.
It's reels. Reach out to us. I started to say Grandstrand.
$.GS@gmail.com.
There it is.
Or shoot us a comment on YouTube. Or Rumble.
Talk to us on
Facebook,
Instagram, X, Truth, all those. Sounds good.
All of them. We'll see you next time, guys. Thank you.
Happy New Year. And as we get the year started, let's get your financial picture in focus by getting a budget and getting those spending habits looked at. Reach out to me at coachwestc@gmail.com and we'll get you off to a good start.
Are you looking to buy a home in North or South Carolina? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. We are a family-owned company with over 10 years of experience in North and South Carolina and operate along the Grand Strand. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872.